At 1 p.m. HST, I know where I will be. Ukulele Underground Podcast for you and me. Aldrine and Aaron and Kahai. And maybe Magic Mike or a guest on the fly. Ukulele Underground Podcast. Now here's the guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
The boys are here. It's time, guys. Let's talk ukulele. So the Ukulele on the Ground podcast, we just basically talk ukulele, or we just have a nice conversation about, about just things in general. But you guys can ask us. We are live, so you guys can ask us questions if you want to. We'll answer any and all ukulele-related questions or non-ukulele-related questions, as long as it's nothing crazy, like what is the meaning of life, or what is the meaning of life, Kai? To you, what does life mean?
Playing ukulele and having fun.
Oh, what a diplomatic answer. I love it, Kahai. So yeah, give him another. Can you increase Kahai's contract by 2 more years? Sign him up for another 2 years. I love this work. I love this. He's my favorite employee in the entire company. Employee of the quarter, of the year, of forever. Right on, guys. So we basically talk about whatever, and if you guys ask us a question, Kahai will relay it to me. I'll try to answer it as best as I can. And these two guys will come in with their 2 cents, and we'll come up with a super answer just for you. We prefer ukulele questions, but ask us anything, basically, yeah? We just want to have some fun. We just want to talk. It's just a nice, casual ukulele podcast. So without further ado, go ahead, Kahai, and give me the first question of the day.
So Chris and Sue were kind of wondering what we thought of everybody's songs for the songwriting challenge. So
yeah. So was it last week that we picked a winner?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, last week we picked a winner for the most recent songwriting challenge. If you guys don't know, our songwriting challenge here on the Ukulele on the Ground podcast, we give you guys a guidelines on what kind of song to write. We'll give you guys the key. We'll give you guys just whatever else. Most of the time it's just little bonus stuff that you guys can do, but for the most part we try to keep things simple. I think this time we just said write a song F, and then we gave you guys suggestions of write a song about spice or whatever, and all these other extras that we added in there. We had a bunch of submissions. Thank you so much to all of you folks who submitted a song. If you guys want to if you guys are watching this as a replay and the contest is over, you guys can still submit songs to us if you want to. Just like one thing that I did want to mention, if you guys notice, we have different intros every week from users that have sent us the intro song. If you would like to submit an intro song to us, feel free to do so, and we'll use it for the beginning of the pod. Yeah, so it's not too late to submit those in. If you guys want to be a part of the show and have your original composition play in the beginning, go ahead and do so.
Oh no, we also had Rhea send in like a kind of like just a picture,
nice,
like for our logo and stuff, and
cool.
We use that for our kind of like a placeholder card, like when we're gonna start before we start. So if people want to send in stuff like that, like our art or whatever they want to send in, we can use that too. We'll show it before the show too.
Nice. That is. So just send in whatever. It's these challenges are mainly for you folks, and we just try to encourage all of you guys to write songs with your ukulele. It's fun and awesome to be playing all these classics and stuff like Hawaiian Style and I'm Yours and Hey Soul Sister. What else? Some classic favorites, Guy. Riptide.
I think
Wagon Wheel. Yeah. So all these songs are great and stuff, but what's even better? When you write your own song. It's fun when you create stuff, and it can be anything. Like it doesn't even have to be like a serious whatever song. It can be something as silly as Kahai is the best employee that Ukulele Underground ever had because he's the best. Like things like that. It doesn't even matter. See, just came up with it right off the top of the noggin. I mean, it's something that I think about often, but I've never really put it in a song like that until just now, Kahai. Hope you like it, buddy. But I basically just like to encourage people to create music and to write music with their ukulele. You don't even need lyrics if you don't want to. You can just kind of come up with a string of notes and melody and stuff, and that's all so good too. Okay. Now, let's start with Chris and Sue. So they wanted us to kind of review everyone's songs and what we thought and stuff. Chris and Sue, I think you guys are doing great. You know, like I think your song is awesome. You guys got this kind of like duet thing going on, where one kind of strums, the other one picks, one sings, and the other kind of does background vocals. You got a nice duo going on. I love the song, love how it works. You know, like I think you guys are getting better with the timing of playing together. All right. I think the groove is almost locking in. So if you guys keep working at it, whatever you guys are doing is working. So just keep it tighter. The more you guys play together, the better you'll get. Some things that I would add would probably be it's like I'm not. How do I say this? I'm not the best vocalist. Nor am I the best guy to arrange vocals for songs, but since there's two of you, and if Sue is going to be doing the oohs, ahs, and lahs and things like that, there's really no harmony to Sue's oohs, so it's just that single ooh. So something that you can do is I'm not saying take the oohs out, but you can you can start to kind of do counter melodies to what Chris is doing. So if Chris is singing something like Kahai is the best employee or whatever, and then Sue could be like Kahai is the best, Kahai is the best, or whatever. Some kind of call and response. There's the two of you guys. I think that's kind of what I was almost expecting with with that song, because I can hear Sue doing her thing, and there are some parts where Chris is singing where there could have been kind of a callback. I love the strumming and the finger picking that you guys are doing. Maybe expand on that a little bit more. Maybe come up with instead of just kind of doing it in eighth notes, like Kahai is the best employee that we've ever seen. Instead of keeping it like that, you guys can be like Kahai is the best employee that we've ever seen. Or maybe not even fast. You can even go slower. That'll still make a big difference. Like Kahai is the best. See what I mean? Where I'm holding that one. So instead of it just being the same exact kind of rhythm the entire time, where it's just a bunch of eighth notes, you guys can kind of mix it up a little bit, add some whole notes, not whole notes, quarter notes in there, some eighth and 16s and things like that. Just get creative with it. It is your song, so make it as fancy as you want. But overall, I thought you guys did a great job. Now it's just time to kind of take it up a notch a little bit. So now that you guys have cleaned things up, make it go the extra mile, right, Kahai? Because why not? I feel like they can.
Yeah. I think that style definitely suited them too. They wrote a song that definitely sounded like that. What is it? Kind of it's doo-wop chords, but it's yeah. That kind of just
Yeah, so just mix it up and just kind of experiment around. I mean, I think it's good already, but you guys can definitely polish it a little bit more to make it as best as it can be. Okay, Hamsini, she's always doing great. So she submitted a song called Cardamom, and she's doing her her picking and stuff. I love her melodies that she comes up with. Sometimes we're just like, how does she come up with these melodies? It's insane. How how good she is at coming up with melodies. She did really well. I thought her chord choices were really nice. I think she's putting in some unique twists to melodies, because she sometimes goes to places that I wasn't expecting the melody to go, which is really great. Keep it up. As far as what she can do, maybe it's tough to kind of expand on it, because she's got her own kind of style and tone and note choices, but maybe add a little bit of technique. I know you can do slides and hammers and stuff, but add a little bit more. Maybe add a bend, or add a pull off, something that's more ukulele, instead of let's see, just playing single notes, playing it kind of making it sound like a guitar, do some ukulele kind of thing. Maybe do a strumming thing, or just same thing as with Chris and Sue, where you can kind of take it up a notch. Now you've reached this level and stuff, you can always make it better. It's I think you're doing great. Just keep up whatever you're doing, but kind of push yourself a little bit. Yeah. Let's see, we had Joko.
Joko.
He did one as well. I liked I liked his songs. It was a little bit silly. It was Papayas, I think. Like he's doing a song on Papayas. I thought it was cool. He's kind of getting used to that into out technique and how it kind of matches with the strumming that he was doing. Almost there. It's almost there. But I think you're going in the right direction. Try to just lock those two rhythms a little bit more tighter, and I think you're doing great. Okay. What was the last one, Kahai? It was what's her name? Kathy. Yeah, Kathy. As always, she did a great job. We've done a bunch of private lessons together. She knows what to work on as far as rhythm wise, form wise, and things like that. But I think she's doing great. I think she's got this kind of singer songwriter thing going on, and I think just keep doing what you're doing. Other than that, things that you can do to improve. Maybe add melody, maybe collaborate with Hamsini or something. Like maybe you could do like the singing and the strumming and stuff, and she'd come up with like some melodies. I don't know, but I just would think that would be fun if we had these two, because I think Kathy's really great at just like strumming and coming up with songs and stuff, and Hamsini's got all these like awesome like melody ideas. Yeah. You put it together, come with a really awesome like Ukulele Underground plus members song together. But I think if all of them like kind of collaborated, come up with a really cool mega song. But everyone did great. I loved everyone's submissions. I loved watching them, and I think you guys are all on the right track. Let me know if there's something you guys are having a hard time with, or if you guys want to expand on the things that I just talked about. Definitely book a private lesson, and we can start working on some of those skills. Okay. All right. Now, hopefully that answers your question. Kahai, what's the next question, bud? And of course, we are live, so ask away in the live chat.
Can I mute your lapel and can you like kind of adjust it a little bit?
Okay.
It seems like there's something.
Okay.
Okay. And as we do that, I'll ask the next question too. Okay. Yep. So Joko asked, like, going off of last week's one, he said, what a deep answer to my question. The conversation in Spark was fascinating. I already got my next question as a follow-up. Okay, Hawaiian music is hard to define, but what about Hawaiian style? What are its characteristics? I was thinking about this when I saw your jam with John Cruz singing Island Style. If not that song itself, then certainly the comments people left on the video after reading those, now I get it. So yeah.
It's gonna be the same answer as like what defines like Hawaiian music. Like island style is island style, and like one island style could be different from another style, but there's both still island styles. Like it's because like Jake is from the island, and then you got a guy like Herb is from the islands, and you got Troy Fernandez who's from the island. They all play island style ukulele, but all three of those styles completely different from each other, so it's still very, very, very hard to define. But I don't, and to be honest, I don't really think it matters, but you can tell it's an island style. I don't know, like it's tough. It's tough to really define, like, okay, these are the characteristics that makes this, island style. But I think if you just got, it's a certain groove maybe, but then again, like all three of those guys are so unique in their grooves, because it's not even like that they're playing like traditional Hawaiian music, which I would also include in the island style category. So it's really tough because it can be anything. But I think it's what I wanted to say is that there are some styles, like for example, like the European style definitely has those split strokes and fan strokes and stuff. They're like, they're playing that European style. I don't know, I don't know what it is about like about Hawaiian or island style that would be classified as island style. Most definitely, someone like Troy Fernandez. If we were to to break down each of these master styles, we can maybe come up with a clue. Okay, so someone like Troy Fernandez, he's got that kind of banjo-y sounding style, very fit for things like Paniolo music or country music. That's specifically in Hawaii, and a lot of like kind of just jam, like backyard jam session kind of songs. That's his style. He's got he's great with that. He's very good. Just like Hamsini we talked about earlier with her melody lines. He is like the king of like coming up with really good melody lines. I was working with Dr. Tracy Terada. He's not Dr. but he's Dr. Trey. Like Tracy Terada, who's the guy who recorded Pure Heart, which is Jake's original band. he said that his experience working with with someone like Troy is that Troy Fernandez, when he goes into a studio, like has come up with exactly what he's gonna do with the exact notes to that song. So like if you press the record button, he's gonna do it exactly like how he planned it out. Like melody wise, he knows what works, and he's come up with that, and he's gonna play that. Rarely does he like improvise outside of that. Maybe like improvise like a ghost note or two, but the general idea of the melody stays the same because whatever he comes up with is gold, And let's see, someone like Ohta Jr. His style is a little bit more of very laid back, very relaxed, like low G. I just want to cruise, like island style in the sense of like I'm sitting in the sand and just sipping on whatever cocktail you prefer or juice, whatever it may be, or cocktails with juice in it. So that's kind of it's kind of his style. It's very easy listening. I dig his style, but not saying that he doesn't know how to rip it up, because G minor fleas is a heck of a track, And you got Jake who can do anything from like from all the other two guys' styles to like to being as fast as like humanly possible. Like Jake is amazing at like unifying all the styles that that is here in Hawaii, and just kind of coming up with his own kind of Jake Shimabukuro style of playing ukulele. That's why when you hear a lot of the musicians who are inspired by Jake, like myself, Andrew Molina has stated that he's very inspired by Jake's style. Guys like Chris Fuchigami, Kale Gamia, like all of us and stuff, we kind of was inspired by Troy and Jake and their styles, and I think that also defines an island style. But as far as like what the parameters and what is a certain technique or whatever, like I couldn't tell you, because those techniques that they use exist in other things that are not technically Hawaiian style. Like the Troy's like G string pull-offs. I know that name sounds funny, but like that's exactly what he does. He just G string and he just pull offs on other strings and stuff. That is like banjo techniques that he's put into the ukulele. As far as like Ohta Jr. goes, like his easy kind of going style is kind of like any easy going guitar style that you can hear out there. Jake's style very much kind of like like acoustic, like rock and roll kind of style. Like it all exists in other styles, but maybe unique on the ukulele for their time. But people right now, especially with technology the way it is, like we're seeing more and more people playing these styles all over the place and all over the world. So I don't know if it's unique to the islands anymore. So I don't know if it's an island style, but it's hard to define, really.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Something that comes to mind when I think of something that it's probably not solely Hawaiian, but I think a lot of Hawaiian music has this, is you'll hear in a lot of vamps, the rhythm, it's not emphasized like regular rhythm is 1 2 3 1 2, or like 1 2 3 4. But in like Hawaiian vamps and Hawaiian music, you might hear the emphasis more on and a 1 2 3 and a 1 2.
Okay.
It's on the upbeat of before one, right? So you gotta have that, and that's where it's like people feel like Hawaiian music kind of has that like sway, because it feels like there's more time spent in that first beat. Like there's more. It kind of like it's hard to explain, but it's that groove that you feel.
But I mean, I could argue you could find that like in other in other genres as well. It's like and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, like like in more like Western kind of tunes. But you're right, there is like a specific groove that is Hawaiian.
Yeah, and I think it's different from like that groove that you would find in Western music, even though it emphasizes like kind of the same beats. But like it's because when we write out music, and we try and write it out in tabs, like in the program that we use, they have like a built-in like it's going for like a triplet feel, or it's going for like this Scottish triplets feel, or whatever. And so you can get other types of genres, but to get that Hawaiian genre is like it's a little tricky, and you kind of have to almost trick the program into thinking like you got to think this way before you can play it back correctly. So I think that is specifically like, yeah, you probably will find it elsewhere, but if you can get that feeling when you're learning Hawaiian music, I feel
You're
like
on the right track.
yeah, you'll definitely fit in with other people who are playing Hawaiian music.
Yeah. That's you, Aaron.
Yeah, it for anything, it just comes down to who are your musical influences.
It's true.
So like for a lot
great
of
point.
people who are considered like Hawaiian artists or like island artists, it depends on who they listen to and who they're most influenced by. And what time period they were
That's true.
influenced
Yeah.
into. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with any genre of music and basically any discipline. It's like, who did you learn from or who influences you,
Right.
and then that shapes what what
and-
your style is like. So
And-
it's all like for people who are considered Hawaiian artists or like local artists here in Hawaii. It's it just goes back to that, like who are you listening to? You probably sound a lot like them.
Yeah.
And then
Who's shaping your sound?
yeah. So like for for example, like
Yeah.
who were your major influences on
Yeah.
ukulele?
Troy and Jake, Troy and Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
And
my
then-
my custom ukulele is a testament to that. Like it's got Jake's headstock and fingerboard.
Yeah.
And it's got like Troy's like body
Rosette.
and rosette and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but then beyond that,
Mm.
it's like you had other influences as well. And so you took elements from all of these things.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you would be considered like an island sounding ukulele player, but like there are elements of it in
That is not, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
in your playing, but it's not just strictly island sounding. So yeah, and the internet has changed everything as well, just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
It's
of that. In the past, it's always been like you learn from whoever is around you, and so
now with
like
the
Hawaiian artists or people from Hawaii learn from other people in Hawaii
Yeah.
how to play and how to shape their sound, and so now it's kind of bridging all the different genres and expanding. So it's harder to pinpoint anybody that's just like a Hawaiian sounding artist
yeah.
anymore. No, pretty much nobody
Nobody.
is.
No. Everyone's kind of everyone's splicing a little bit of something else into their
Yeah.
because I remember going to remember the Major Raja that was here like on Kauai, and it was the first time that I saw who's those Common Kings play. It was mainly a Catch a Fire concert, but Common Kings was there, and I saw them play, and I'm like, I already kind of like Common Kings,
Yeah.
and they're jamming their songs, and then and all of a sudden like they went into this like this dubstep kind of groove and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that is so cool, and things like that where like they put in other genres and still make it work. And I don't know, like that's becoming more and more popular to do, and it kind of really takes the lines out of like this, and behind this line is Hawaiian music, and behind this line is reggae, behind this line is like dubstep. It just like takes out all those lines. It's like it's kind of reggae dubstep or reggae
Yeah.
Hawaiian or whatever, maybe
So like for us, for our generation, what we consider Hawaiian music, like I feel it's like what they would play on the Hawaiian music station,
Great point.
right? Whereas if you're from the mainland, anything from Hawaii might be considered
Hawaiian
Hawaiian
music.
music,
Yeah.
or like island music.
Technically is, I guess.
Yeah, which it can be true, but like for us, it's like if they're playing local music on the radio station where it's like more reggae, that's not really Hawaiian
reggae,
music to
yeah.
us.
like
Hawaiian
island
music,
reggae.
yeah. Hawaiian music is more like stuff from the 70s
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
like 70s and 80s that like really had that they used Hawaiian lyrics, more Hawaiian lyrics
Yeah,
than
like Gino
English.
Keawe, Teresa Bright, like all
Yeah.
those, like
Yeah.
Don Ho, like all those guys.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
traditional Hawaiian songs or like Hawaiian influenced Hawaiian language songs, and that's what we consider Hawaiian music.
Yeah.
If you're from Hawaii, from our generation, that's kind of what you consider Hawaiian music. And I'm sure if you are from a previous generation, that would be contemporary Hawaiian music
Yeah.
to them, and the traditional Hawaiian music would be like really like Hawaiian music. but it's always evolving. So
Yeah. So it's tough to define, really.
yeah.
Like what? Because lines are so blurred now.
Yeah. So it depends on how you define it.
Yeah.
And what it means to you and why are you trying to play it or trying to listen to more of it, and you just latch onto those things.
Yeah. And I think this would be a great question to our future guest. I think I can announce it because I want people to ask their questions and stuff before before he comes in. It's a great get. We talked about getting a big guest and stuff, and I pulled through with a big guest, everybody. Here on the Ukulele on the Ground podcast, coming soon, we will have the legend himself. Kahai for no. We have the legend himself.
He is the legend.
He is. That's why. Now we have Jake Shimabukuro coming in, joining us on our podcast in a future episode. We're just we're basically just trying to figure out which Thursday he's going to be doing, and we want to give you guys a heads up so that you guys can have your questions ready. You guys can let us know in advance what kind of questions you guys want to ask Jake, so that Kahai can get it. And then he'll just ask Jake during the show and stuff. So it's not like we're not trying to sift through a bunch of these questions on the live chat and whatnot. Also, we know he's a busy dude, so it might not be on like a Thursday at once. We just want to let you guys know as a heads up that we're gonna have him as a guest. So just in the case that we don't do it on Thursday at 1 like we normally do, just look out for any kind of announcements or any kind of time change that we might let you guys know about, because if you guys are looking forward to that episode, we'll definitely let you know. But just as a heads up, we're gonna have Jake on the pod in a future episode. I'm guessing within the month or month or two, but we'll have him on. We'd love to have you guys ask questions. I think, and we did a show yesterday, and for like the public library school system, they're lending out ukuleles in the Hawaii public libraries, which is awesome. And I think there's like 6 libraries here on Kauai that are lending ukes, which is really, really, really cool. Because I was telling Jake that my first ukulele was a lent ukulele from my school, from Koloa School. It was a prelude ukulele. I remember Mr. Shintani let me borrow that ukulele from Silver Lining, and I took it home and I borrowed it for like the whole school year. So for like a good year, 2 years, I borrowed the same exact ukulele from her, and that had my name on it, and until I got my own. And I think this is a really, really, really cool, program that they're doing, that they're allowing people to borrow ukuleles. And I think you can borrow it for up to 2 weeks at a time. So it's not even like you borrow it for that day and you gotta return it the next day or even that week. It's 2 weeks you can borrow the ukulele for. So if you get yourself a nice Hawaii State library card, or if you have your Hawaii State ID and you can get a library card, coming here for a vacation or whatever. I don't know what the rules are on that and stuff, but that would be a cool idea. Like if so you don't have to bring your ukulele and you want to just borrow one of theirs. I think it's just a bunch of Kala Watermans and stuff, but it's something. So if you guys want to check that out, and ask all the questions, make sure to check that out. Yeah, I don't know what the link is, but we'll have a link on the show notes after this pod is done. But we'll have Jake. Also, mahalo to Music for Life Foundation, because Music for Life is the one that set that up. So Music for Life was working with Jake to get all these ukuleles from Kala into the hands of these awesome libraries, so that they can get it to the hands of the people who wants to pick up these ukuleles. And it's cool because we also talked about with the digital age, libraries are kind of having all these struggles. So it's amazing that they're coming up with these kind of things to keep the libraries going, because they're awesome. As a dad now, I didn't realize that libraries were so cool, because they have all these events for little kids and stuff all the time, and it's awesome. It's like my kid can go. It was just pre-COVID, of course. My kid could interact with all these kids. They'd have story time. They would have people reading stories. They would have little fun arts and crafts things. I didn't know libraries were so cool. I would have hung out in libraries way more if there was all these programs. Yeah, for free.
Yeah.
You can just go and there's people reading stories and stuff, and you can like make a little like drawing thing, and you make a mask and stuff. Like sometimes I don't go with my kid, and my wife just goes, and she comes home. One time she came home with this like, owl mask. I'm like, where'd you get that? It's like, from the library. Oh, that's so awesome.
Aw.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I should have went. It's just those kind of things. So I'm glad they're coming up with some programs that keeps these libraries alive, because it's so different, like having the book in your hand and just reading a book, the smell of a book and stuff. It's just it's different. So they don't just have ukulele books, they have ukulele instructional books as well. So make sure you check those out. If you're a Hawaii resident, you can check out which library carries ukuleles. And if you're visiting, or if you're a future visitor, ask around, see if you can get a library card and check one out for the duration of your stay. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So anyway, Jake, coming up. So email us your questions. Kai, where can they email?
I'm sorry. Like,
It's okay,
we're having like people are having technical problems, so
Oh,
I've been
no.
trying to fix that.
Oh,
So
even
that's
last
why.
week too. Yeah, we were having problems.
Yeah,
Or
I
the
don't know.
week before.
It's not. It seems like people are having problems, and it's like not something I can fix. So I'm
Yeah.
just-
Wow, this isn't the Jake episode. That's embarrassing. I think that episode's gonna be the one to like finally like break me, as far as like I might just fanboy out the entire time. Like, we have questions waiting, but it's just like, Jake, remember that time when you were like with Pure Heart and you're like playing at that place? Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be the episode.
That's
We're
so
like,
cool.
Aldrine, just be quiet. We want, but I'm just gonna just fanboy out with like my two hands like this, just listening to every word Jake was saying. Just like even doing the show with him yesterday. I've known this man for 2 decades, and still I'm like, Jake, that one. Remember that time that like, because we talked about that time at Borders where he called me up to play body surfing with him on stage, and I'm like, yeah, man, it changed my life. Exactly, that's what I said. I was like, changed my life. And Jake is always like, oh yeah, it's cool. Like, I don't know.
Still play that song today.
But we've been friends for 2 decades. But I'm still like, I still fanboy out every time, like every time I get to see him or just talk to him, even when the cameras are not rolling, it's just like, Jake. So you played this that show, or you came up with that album recently. That track was cool. So Kahai, please, when he comes down, you gotta just like help me keep my composure, help me keep my cool. All right. So other questions, or do you guys want to set up the next challenge?
Yeah, we got a couple questions.
Sure. Let's do one more, and then we'll set the next question, and we'll end with one. Or if we don't have time, then we have another cliffhanger. We haven't done a cliffhanger in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from Heart Ukulele, and they said, when someone finds himself in a rut or slump, when it comes to progression in their ukulele playing, what tips do you have for these people to work through these situations?
I usually put the uke down and start playing Monster Hunter. No, no. On a more serious note, how do you get out of slumps? Really, you get in a slump by just doing the same thing over and over and over, and then you just do it so much that you're just like, it's just routine, Like, so in order to not feel that way, you kind of need to break routine. Try to learn something that that you normally wouldn't, like explore like a different genre of music, or like a new song that you feel is is fun to play. Really, if you keep ukulele fun for you, you'll want to keep playing your ukulele. So try to challenge yourself with something fun, or maybe come up with or try to learn a technique that you haven't worked on before. Maybe like learn some music theory. If you haven't dived into music theory, maybe that's something that you can do, or like dive into a genre, like I said, maybe like blues or Hawaiian or reggae or anything like that. You just never know. You might like it. Like my wife, before moving to Hawaii so that we could be together, she was not like a reggae person, but now she's like, she knows all the lyrics to all the Catch a Fire songs. I'm like, how do you know this?
She knows more
Yeah, exactly.
reggae songs than you do.
I think, she worked at Kauai Cookie, like when she first came here, and I guess like in Kauai Cookie, does the radio plays all
Yeah.
that like island music, and she just I guess while working there was just exposed to so much like island music that she's just like, this is what I like now. So yeah, I mean, you just never know. Like I didn't really know that I liked jazz for my saxophone, my clarinet and stuff, but found it like too difficult on my ukulele. Until I kind of like sat down and started learning some stuff. I'm not like the best at jazz or whatever, but I'm liking it. And that's really all that, all that matters, is that if you want to explore something new, you just never know if you'll like it. Yeah, I dig it. I like coloring my chords and things like that, and or even adding new techniques like I mentioned. So I now add, if you guys noticed, on a lot of the UE Plus solos, I'm now adding these little campanella lines because I've learned some campanella enough to use them into actual like solos and use and stuff. So it's been really cool. Every time I learn something, I try to share it with you guys. So I think that's something that you can do to get out of the rut, is to try something new or challenge yourself to a song that you've always wanted to tackle, but you're always scared of it. And you're like, well, this song has like this chord in it or whatever that I can't play. Then challenge yourself to either learn a chord that you couldn't play, or figure out a way to kind of hold that chord a different way, or learn some music theory. And if you learn some music theory, you can take it down a step. So maybe you can play those chords instead. So if you can't play an E, you take it down a step, then it becomes a D. D is super easy to play. So things like that. There's always something to do with with music. Or another thing that I like to do is I like to, to just go on YouTube and watch like what all these new people that are like coming up that are doing with the ukulele, and that's always inspiring to me. Like I'm always watching some new ukulele player like just taking this thing to new heights. I came from the old school of not as old as some other ukulele players, but of Troy Fernandez, Jake Shimabukuro. That's the stuff that I grew up with. Ohta Jr. But now there's like all these like kind of percussive playing and things like that. It's always super exciting to watch people experiment with these new things. So it makes me want to do it. Like I was super excited when James Hill came out with Billie Jean, and then I just watched it. I'm like, I could never do that. And then he came out with the tutorial, and I tried it for myself. Like I was doing it for like a week. I'm like, this is fun. Nothing that I could do in my show or whatever, my technique, but it's fun, and I just started having fun. So really, that's it. I think it's just time to break out of the habits or break a routine from whatever it is that you're doing, because that's kind of maybe causing you to get bored at the instrument. But there's always something new. There's always something exciting and fun to learn on the uke.
Yeah, I think the when we see people who ask this type of question, a lot of them seem to be like focused solely on like one song, or like they're like, my goal is to learn this type of music only, and so I only work on this type of music. And it's like, yeah, that's okay, but you can see how that burns you out quick. Like if you learn something else, your accumulation of like what you learn, even if it doesn't seem like it adds to that style. Like if your focus is like, oh, I purely want to learn how to like play solo ukulele, so I don't want to learn any songs with singing or anything in it. That's just where it's like, whoa, you cut out like a ton of songs, and and even songs that are like, even if you don't sing along with the song, it's pretty fun to play. Like it has solos, it has interesting things to it that you can learn. So yeah, like I think what I do for that, like to find new things that I would have never listened to before or tried, is like I'll use a YouTube playlist where it's just like random songs. But yeah, you can use like the radio or like Spotify and just put it on like a random thing, and just listen to like songs that maybe you wouldn't have given a chance before. But if you find something that's like, oh, this is pretty interesting, like then try it out, see if you can learn it.
I mean, on that note, it doesn't even have to be like a ukulele thing. It could be anything. I remember Kahai introduced me to Scary Pockets, that YouTube group and stuff, and now I'm like obsessed with watching their every video that comes out. I'm subscribed to them. New video comes out, I'm like, oh, Heather, come on! It's like new Scary Pockets. Kenton Chen is singing again. Yes. You know what I mean? Oh, it's like Kenton Chen song. I'm so excited. I got the popcorn. Like it's things like that where it gets me excited to like to watch. to watch people play music and be inspired by like all these, you know, musicians making amazing music. And I think that's what, you know, what people need to do is just keep getting inspired like by everyone around them, because everyone is amazing.
Like there's people who are like, oh, can you do a lesson for this song? And we're like, oh, here's I found like the chords for it already, and you know, it's guitar chords, but just use the same chord names and play it on ukulele and stuff, and you can play the same thing. And people seem to be afraid though. They're like, well, if I don't hear like an ukulele in the song, how am I gonna know what to play? And it's like, well, you can just listen to whatever the guitar is playing, whatever the piano is playing,
any part of the song.
Just try and copy and follow along. So you also don't have to limit yourself to like, oh, I gotta stick within what is the world, the scope of the ukulele. Look outside and try and figure it out. I think Andrew, right, he was saying that he was kind of stuck, and then he looked at what John Mayer was playing, and that kind of inspired him to be like, oh, I'm gonna try this on ukulele too. So,
because if no one did that, then we wouldn't have Jake's Bohemian Rhapsody or even like While My Guitar Gently Weeps. You know, if we all just stayed in our lane, so to speak, like none of those amazing pieces would have happened. So, it's things like that, because you just never know what you're gonna discover or what you're gonna stumble upon. Like as far as if you're just playing, you know, with a new genre, and you're like, okay, well, I kind of like it, but I kind of like it this way, and you come up with your own style. You just never know, you know. So. Really revitalize your love for the ukulele and have fun with it again by just kind of breaking whatever routine that you're doing and try something new.
I think the important part too is like not to be afraid to make mistakes, or like some people like they think I'm not gonna start learning a song if I can't learn the song, if it doesn't look like I can learn the song 100% through, right? Like just try and learn songs, and if you're like, oh, I only learned about 50% of the song, the thing is you can always like stop learning a song, go to somewhere else and come back to the song, right? So don't think that I'm not gonna try to learn something because I'm not gonna be able to play it, or I'm not gonna be the best at it, or
good.
I can't do all of it. It's like you just, at this point, if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, you kind of just have to try whatever you can, you know, and it is almost like you got to dig yourself out of that rut, and so you just got to keep going, right?
How about you, Aaron? Final thoughts?
Yeah, actually, I checked out this Heart Ukulele member, Heart Ukulele. I've checked out her YouTube channel. And she's actually pretty good. So it could be just that, right? Like
fatigue?
No, you just get to a point where you're happy with your playing. You know, you don't have to get, you know, when you're a beginner, it's like being I forget who used this analogy, but somebody said like in learning anything, it's like you start off with a really small circle. And so in order to grow to become a bigger circle, you attack the things on the edges, the easy things on the edges, right? On the outside of the circle, and then you absorb those things and become a bigger circle, right?
Like a katamari.
And so so the bigger that you grow as a circle, the longer the outside becomes. And it gets to a point where like you have to learn like a lot in order to get bigger. You have to learn like a lot of little things on the outside of your diameter, and sometimes you'll get to the point where it feels like I'm gonna put in an extraordinary amount of work in order to increase in size just a little bit. And so at that point, sometimes you just gotta be like, I'm good with where I am, and I'm just gonna have fun with the skills that I have. Because not everybody wants to become you, like a touring musician that plays all over the world. And if you're just happy with your current skill set, then find songs that you love and learn those songs, and then just use whatever skills you already have, because you made it basically.
You're done.
So I mean, you can always be inspired by better players, definitely. And that will push you to become better, but don't make it a grind. Don't make it like a job if it's not, don't make it not fun for yourself.
That's true. Bottom line is you gotta have fun with it.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
re-spark that joy.
And I think some people remember, like, there's that phrase, that saying, right? Like, you go into the tool shed, you lock yourself in the
Yeah.
and you just grind away to get better. And there is times in music when you can do that, but and so I think people think like, oh, that's just what I gotta do to get out of this rut, is just to grind, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like when I'm in the tool shed and when I'm grinding, like, when I lock myself into my room, I'm just like, I'm just gonna spend today trying to learn this thing or trying to get better at this thing. It's not something that I'm not enjoying doing the process
exactly.
of doing too. So if you ever feel like I don't like this process, you probably you might force yourself to do it, and by forcing yourself to do it, you're probably gonna gain less than like finding something that is just like, well, what's fun for me to do currently? What is fun that I'm actually enjoying? Even though these are scales or these are warm ups or these are things, it's something that I can still enjoy doing. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I think if you enjoy what you're doing, even if it's like just grinding, it's you gain a lot more than hating wherever you're currently at and being like, well, I just got to put in more time.
Yeah.
You're probably going to end up like not, you might even end up like burning out altogether, where it's just like, I got to stop playing altogether because I don't enjoy anything. So you don't want to reach that point. You probably want to like either just say like, oh, I'm good where I'm at, or like, I'm going to take a break, but you don't want to just like be like, I quit because I hate, it's come to the point where I hate doing this at all. So.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you focus on that element of fun in
Fun.
everything, then it's supposed to be fun.
I can't find it, Aaron. Where's the fun?
I feel like you are one of those people that are pretty good at finding the element of fun in whatever it is that you're
That I'm
doing.
doing, yeah.
And that's why you get so good at whatever it is that you want
My
to get
wife
good
hates
at.
it because like I'll take like a really crappy situation sometimes, and I'll like always look at the bright side. She's like, can I just bask in the terribleness of the situation first before you ruin it with your sunshine?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't want to bask in the like in the gloom and doom and stuff. Like, why? What's the point of that?
Yeah. But I mean, with anything like your cardistry stuff, when you work on a trick like over and over and over and you suck at it, you still focus on the element of like, oh, this is like fun to do,
Yeah, it's
right?
fun to do, fun to collect, fun to talk about,
yeah.
fun to hang out with people.
So it's the same thing with
Yeah.
learning anything.
Yeah, I think if it is like to the point where you pick up your ukulele and it feels like a group, like, it's just like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. Then it might be time to just like put it down,
Yeah, for a little bit. You can take a break.
Yeah, and try and maybe find the joy in ukulele in other ways, in maybe just music or something else too. So don't force yourself.
Yeah. All right. So let's set up the next songwriting challenge. Okay, it's a new songwriting challenge theme, Kahai. All right, so I want to go back. So we've been giving like kind of guidelines and stuff of like keys and chords and stuff. Let's go back to coming up with 3 words and then writing a song about those 3 words.
Or were we gonna do
Mad Libs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, did you come up with a Mad Lib thing?
I have a thing on screen that I can type out, but I thought we could do like a chord progression, and you gotta fill in the blanks, right?
Ooh. Okay, explain. I mean, for the people that don't know.
That don't understand.
Yeah, the people that don't
what you're
understand. I
talking
totally with you. Like, but
Yeah, like, so before we've given like chord progressions that like you gotta include this chord progression into it, or it's like, it's like, oh, a 2-4-5 or whatever.
Right.
But maybe this time it'll be like, you gotta play this chord, like, okay, so if we say 2-5-1, so, but instead of 2-5-1, it's just like you gotta play the 2 and the 1 chord, but any chord in between the 2 and the 1 in that chord progression.
Okay,
So
sounds good. So let's come up with something. Let's say. So is it just the one thing that we're gonna add a Mad Lib to, or do we do things like we can do several lines and stuff?
Yeah, we can. Why don't we do multiple so people can pick whichever one works for them?
That sounds great. So let's start with that. The 2-5-1. Let's let's take out the 2.
Okay.
So you fill in whatever you guys want to, fill in for that 2 instead. So it's blank 5-1. Okay, so
Okay.
blank 5-1. The next one is let's see what.
So we're saying any key then?
Huh?
But
yeah,
just like-
any key.
You can choose any key.
Yeah. So the first one is blank 5-1. There it is. You guys can see that. Okay. Oh, I did it right that time. Blank 5-1. Okay. Let's see. What else do we usually do? Because I would kind of just want to go through our greatest hits and then just take one thing out and then they can fill it in. What's another thing that we usually do, Kahai? Or the audience can can suggest some stuff as well if you want to get in on it.
What was the chord progression we did last time?
1 6 4 5.
Yeah.
So you can do 1 6 blank 5. I kind of like the 1 and the 5 in there. Just 1 6 blank 5. There it is in real time as Kahai was writing it.
Can you give an example of either of those?
So in the key of C, if you download our handy dandy circle of fifths, it'll tell you all the chords in the key of C. So for example, in the key of C, so we have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C.
And
you
if
can
you
think of
number
that.
all those.
And if we can do that in numbers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 8 is the same chord. Okay, so the 2 5 1 that we're saying would be 1 2, which is D minor, 1 2 3 4 5, which is G, and 1 of course is C. So it'd be D minor, G, C. But since we added a blank that you guys can fill in with your Mad Libs, you guys can do whichever chord as long as you have the 5 1 at the end for your chord progression. Okay, so it can be like a 4 5 1, F, G, and C, or 6 5 1 would be A minor, G, C, or a is it 6? Yeah, no, 6. That was 6. So did I count right? Okay, or 3 5 1. E minor, G, C, stuff like that. So you can make it like really, really fun and challenging. Okay, so
and just write a song around that.
Yeah, around that progression. Or if you want to choose the second Mad Lib that we did, which is 1 6 blank 5, so it should be 1 6 4 5. You can add whatever you want in place of the 4. Okay, so it'd be 1 6 3 5 if you want to do that, or 1 6 5 5. You can even do that if you want to. Just hold 5 2 times. Yeah. So really get creative with it. Or it could, since it's a blank, it doesn't even have to be in that key. Maybe like just really experiment, like a major 2. Like if you want to do a major 2. So C 1 6 major 2 then G. Like really come up with some interesting stuff. Okay. Let's see, what else? What about other things that we can do?
Did we just do like a title or a line?
Like
that
I was,
it can be based off of
Yeah.
something.
I was thinking like we can do Mad Libs with like a blank and a word, so they gotta fill in the blank, and then they
Yeah.
include
Yeah,
the-
do like a phrase and do like a blank in that phrase and then
Yeah.
fill that out.
yeah. So I don't know, whatever.
My dog has blank.
Oh, my blank has flea. No, my dog has blanks. It's pretty good. Let's do my dog has blank. That's
don't know if this is
great.
gonna
I love that.
Yeah.
Whatever key that you guys want to do, that's how we're going to be writing these songs. Okay, my dog has blank.
Has butt.
Sound like my kid.
Everything in the Mad Libs is butt.
I couldn't type the my dog has.
Okay,
blank,
this
so-
is my dog has blank,
Yeah.
and then write a song. So you can choose any one of these 3 Mad Libs to work on if you want to. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Let's not convolute it anymore and like come up with more stuff, because people
Bonus,
tend to get
yeah.
tend to get a little too I'm guessing tend to get a little too intimidated and stuff. So that's it. Let's just leave it at that. Make it nice and simple. Blank 5 1 1 6 blank 5, or my dog has blank. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. It's nice.
And yeah, you can just pick and choose whichever
whichever one
is,
you want.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, that's it. And whatever key that you want. C, F. So if you guys are like, I don't know what the numbers mean in whatever key. So once again, check out the video called Chord Families. So Chord Families will definitely explain everything that you need to know. Okay, and download and print out the Wheel of Circle of Fifths. The Circle of Fifths wheel. You can definitely do that, and you can cut it out and stuff. It makes a really cool little device that you can use to figure out the chords to whatever key that you're working on. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'll post it in the forum too. And if you want to ask in the forum itself, like, oh, what if I do these chords, or if I want to play in this key, what are the chords? I'll try to respond to them too. So you can just ask directly.
Yeah, and we'll do a nice little raffle thing at the end, and the winner gets my friend codes for Monster Hunter Rise, so they can help me out with my quests. No.
Oh, what a good prize!
Awesome prize. No. We'll do something. Usually, we usually give out lessons and stuff, like extra lessons. I think Chris and Sue got a 30-minute lesson last time that they can redeem whenever. We've done like extra private lesson slots. We've done that. We've done like physical things, like send some physical snacks, or like Hawaii kind of stuff. So you just never know. I mean, it's just some fun prizes. It's nothing crazy, but it's we're not like giving away a Kamaka ukulele. No, it's nothing like that. Yeah, we're just a bunch of kids with a website. We're not at that level. So but we are into having fun, so make sure you have fun when you do this exercise. Send us your songs and stuff, and submit it in about 3 weeks. So ours will be so we'll do songs that we'll create based on these on these Mad Libs, and we'll have our songs ready in 2 weeks for you, so that you can see it before you submit yours. You can kind of see what we come up with and give you some ideas on what you can do based on the criteria that are given. Okay, so let's have fun. Let's have fun. All right, Kai, any new businesses? We released a new song today, so if you guys want to check that out, Silk Sonic's "Leave the Door Open." Super fun song. I had a lot of fun working on that tune. I love that song. It's been stuck in my head for all month. It came out this month, and we were just like, we gotta do it. We gotta do this song. And like
we were like mid-month already.
Yeah,
we're just...
it was really a fast job. So the past few weeks where I've had the mustache and stuff, I was growing it out for that particular video. I really wanted that Bruno Mars like Filipino uncle look to it. And to be honest, like, I didn't like the mustache. I just think it's kind of uncomfortable. But I've had so much comments of like do you have a mustache now? I was like, that's what you do. It looks good or whatever. Even my wife is like, I'm kind of starting to like the mustache on you. And I'm just like, I don't. I don't like the really don't itchy like mustache. This. But I don't know. Like I've had it before, maybe, but whatever. But that's why. So people weirded out. And last week we filmed my part in the play along. So that's why we didn't address it last week. But I was in that full get up for the lesson on the last week's podcast. So that just shows you guys. We worked pretty hard on that new lesson and video, and we just tried to get it out, so that everybody can learn it while it's still fresh. Okay, while it's still hot. It's hot damn.
Speaking of we were talking earlier, just try and learn something even if it seems hard.
Yeah,
there's people on that YouTube on the YouTube video who are like, whoa, oof, these chords.
These chords are pretty hard. It's a challenge. I mean, it was a challenge for me. So, but it's fun. I mean, honestly, I find myself playing it at home kind of a lot. Like it's a really fun song. I do play it at home, but then I still gotta like look at the chords and the lyrics and stuff because I have not have them memorized. While we were filming it, I'm like, I need some kind of reference so that I know what chord is coming up next. I did have a blast though. It's super fun. So make sure you check that out. The brand new lesson came out today. It is April Fools. We don't have an April Fools, do we, Kai? Do you have an April Fools for people?
We are the fools.
Yeah, I think this. You guys like wasted an hour listening to this podcast. April Fools. That's not enough.
I think
Par for the course.
I think YouTube is playing an April Fool's on us because it's giving me a headache. It's not.
April
Streaming is
Fools.
not working.
It's not an April Fools, and it's just terrible. But like you guys stuck around, so thank you so much. Or if you didn't and you're watching this as a replay, thank you for watching it again. We really appreciate you folks. So let's get on with it. Kahai, let's do our cliffhanger question of the week. Now that we've gone through all the and you boys are vaccinated. You boys got the little thingy. I got mine today. My arm hurts, so hopefully I can last throughout the open mic that we have today. And we have the open mic. I forgot to mention that. Open mic right after this show at 2:30. We have the Ukulele on the Ground open mic. Make sure you guys are ready. If you guys want to join us, there's going to be a banner at the top of the website that you guys can click on that leads you over to the Zoom room where we'll be doing the Ukulele on the Ground open mic. If you'd like to play, let us know that you want to share a song, and we'll put you in queue and we'll have you play for us. All right. So we're looking forward to it. These are always super fun. This is going to be our third one, I believe. The third one this month. Mm-hmm. We've been having a blast with it. So thank you guys so much for coming in and participating in that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah, the sooner we can be safe, the sooner we can go out and play for you guys again. So I'm very, very, very excited at the prospect of that, of being able to entertain live once again. Because as a musician and as an artist, like I want to be able to share like all this music inside. It's bursting, guy. I've been working on so much stuff this year. I can't wait to deliver the same show at Oasis on Wednesdays. I can't wait to play the same songs that we've done for 10 years. Can't wait, guy. So we'll see you pretty soon for the open mic. But Kahai, give us our last cliffhanger question, please.
Yeah, this one is from Heart Ukulele too.
Yeah, awesome.
And so she said that she just got a new concert ukulele,
nice.
Like a custom concert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. Everything is really nice, but there's a little bump on the neck where it feels like it wasn't sanded down evenly. And so she asked, that said, though not technically a defective instrument, it still feels weird to me when playing it. Have you ever had a situation like this before with an instrument, and how did you go about resolving things without creating hard feelings with the seller?
I actually
cliffhanger. Next time.
have not had that experience. Have not had that experience. I don't know. Find out on the next episode of the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. We'll see you guys next time. My name is Aldrine. That's Aaron. That's Kahai. Aloha.